We are seeing more crises in the banking sector today. Great start to the show there, Jeremy. A lot to talk about from that standpoint. We got Apple earnings. We got the ECB raising another 25 basis points. We have some more economic reports. Going to talk about all of that and more. As we get going, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. Nothing that Kevin or I say is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. A couple of guys who love following the markets, seeing where there are edges to be had, and hopefully we can help you find some of those. But please do your own research before making any buys or sells. Kevin, day after FOMC, we got a lot going on in the markets. There's some panic out there. We saw some more banks take absolute dumps in the after hours continuing into today. How are you feeling about everything? What are you looking at?
Yeah, man. I didn't expect some of these banks in the after hours just to start tumbling, and they went pretty fast. They started just going straight south. So that's probably the most important thing for me. And again, I think it's part of a larger problem that a lot of people aren't seeing, which is a potential liquidity crunch that's coming. FDIC insured or not, we can make depositors whole for the time being, but eventually, if this starts to be a complete fallout where all these regional banks, smaller banks, and they're just being amassed by some of these larger institutions. It's like, is everyone going to get their money back? Who knows? We haven't been in a position like that in quite some time. So it's really interesting to see. But for me, that just proves why there's such low volume in some of these markets. Money's drying up, and it's going to people who have probably the most amount of money because they just are able to amass some of these like they just buy some of these banks. So it's really interesting. It's really scary, but at the same time, it's not something that we weren't kind of anticipating looking at, 2008 and the larger macroeconomic structure for the market right now.
For sure. We've seen as of now, PacWest is down 42% on the day. Their stock is below $4. This is a company, where were they at their peak in the last year? They were up around $35 within the last year. If you go back even further, I mean, they've been in the $50 range. Just their chart is that of a crypto scam token. It's really, really ugly. And then you look at also Western Alliance, they're down 34% today, clinging to a share price of just under $20, could go down even more. I mean, it's ugly out there. A lot of these banks, there's just so much uncertainty on, they showed strong earnings at their last report. They showed deposits weren't too bad, but there's still just a lot of fear. There's a
Yeah.
lot of fear on their liquidity, on whether those deposits are going to keep happening. Are people going to move into bigger banks? Are people going to move into money markets? Are people going to put more cash into fixed income like treasury notes or CDs, things like that? So right now, it's not looking good, and we are seeing in real time, it's been slowly happening for a while, but the death of the middle class is accelerating at a very high rate right now, and I don't think most people realize it.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that the middle class makes up the majority of the U.S. population. The thing is, some of these regional banks, some of these smaller banks, those service a lot of people in some of these rural parts of America and smaller parts of America that aren't necessarily near the big branches. There's a reason why they're regional banks, but it's not good because again, you start losing your wealth and you're going to be fighting. It's so hard to generate wealth when you're starting with very little. That just takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and a lot of just dedication to saving. It's obviously a lot easier to make money when you have a lot of money on hand because your money doesn't have to work as hard to see significant gains that are worthy of taking profit. So yeah, it's not great for the middle class. And again, all recessions do this. I always bring up the middle management positions, but again, that just destroyed a lot of people who are doing a little bit better than some of the others and reduced them to minimum wage. So is that going to happen again? Probably. And we're just seeing, maybe this is the starting effects of something greater to come. And it's going to hurt people very similarly to how past, recessions have.
Yeah, and we are seeing more data came out today showing that the U.S. economy is slowing down. Productivity is down 2.7%. That is greater than the down 1.9% expected. The trade deficit is increasing, down 64.2 billion versus the 63.1 billion expected. We saw jobless claims go up, which is something that we've also been expecting to see 242,000 initial jobless claims versus 236,000 expected and 229,000 from the previous report. So there's a lot of the warning signals are going off right now like crazy. And if you're just, all in la la land where it's sunshine and rainbows, it's pretty bad. There was a report that came out that I believe from Gallup, a poll of theirs showed that 50% of Americans are concerned about, keeping their money in banks right now. That's not good. Like a run on the banks, oh boy. Like if we see a run on like the smaller banks, the bigger banks, all of them, that's problematic. We also saw, we'll talk international for a hot second. ECB raised their rates by 25 basis points. I listened to a little bit of the press conference from that this morning. They're not going to be able to slow down either. That number's going to have to keep going up. And we're going to see, their inflation hasn't been nearly as bad as in the U.S., but they're still fighting it over there. There's still a lot of concerns. We still have all the issues with Russia and everything. Ace, happy to have you as always, buddy.
Good, Ace.
But overall, it's not great. And it's really funny that we've been bearish for so long. We're getting more and more data to support that. And we, of course, today is the day that we're going to try to present our bullish arguments for the market in the coming months. So good luck to us on that one. I don't know if they'll be the most compelling arguments, but we're going to make them anyways.
We'll try. You're probably more than I. I'm the kid who looked at the homework assignment and says, "Nah, I'm not fucking doing that." I don't know. I can't make a case for a bull case, but hopefully we can come up with something together. I think there are a few things, but for the most part, it just seems like everything in this market is just going to shit.
There's like one thing on my end, and it is like, I'm not going to say it's grasping at straws. But even if it happens, it's not like that bullish. So we'll see. Anything else you want to touch on, from the macro standpoint before we kind of move into, maybe talking a little bit more about crypto, talking about our bull theses. We have Apple earnings this afternoon here in about a little over an hour. That should be, I know a lot of people are watching that one. We're both expecting it to come in, a lot of people are expecting it to come in under expectations, which then I don't know. Like, I'm like tying myself in knots over here, Kevin. Like, I don't even know what to do.
I think you should just go with your gut, because for me, it's pretty fucking easy when I look at this market. I don't even have to concentrate. I just look over. I'm like, all right, I know what's going on over here. It's going to zero, but not Apple, but in general, the market's obviously at a pretty overbought point, and we're seeing some super strong headwinds with some of this banking crisis and even stuff with Russia coming up in the past 2 days. Now it's the U.S.'s fault for the drone. They put Ukraine up to it. I don't know what's going to happen, man. Now we're seeing oil bounce a little bit. This is an absolutely riveting time to be alive. I thought 2008 was fun. Nintendo Wii was out, and I was just watching everything go to shit from the TV. This is even better. Like having money in the market during a recession. Oh, what a great time to be alive.
Great time. I mean, it is true. Like if you can remove the emotion from it, if you can look out long term, if you have revenue, like income, consistently, and I mean, there's job fears and everything, but it's just, while everyone is scared, is such a huge opportunity. And a lot of people 5 years from now are going to have a lot more money because of the decisions they make, throughout this year. Meanwhile, we got a lot of people that we interact with who are out here trading frog coins on the internet. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's get to our bull cases for the market, for the rest of 2023. Give me some reason that we could be slightly bullish, Kevin.
This market is absolutely fucking resilient, despite banking crises, despite the federal funds rate being so extremely high. Labor market's extremely strong. Like, again, if we're looking at just the headline things, I mean, this is basic stuff. This is nothing new that we don't already know. The market, the fact that the market isn't absolutely tanked yet is just showing you how strong or how dumb everyone is. And sometimes dumb money wins. I'm not saying people who invest in some of these shit coins are dumb, but it's kind of dumb money. We're talking about retail jumping into some of these things. We're seeing it shoot straight up. But then we look at, the traditional financial markets, and it's like, I would expect a lot of this stuff to be a lot lower after SIVB. Instead, it just bounced right back and shot straight up. So it's really a weird time in the market. And maybe that's a time where it's like, again, this is grasping at straws, I guess, too. But it's just like the market just won't give up. And if there's that type of determination, and I think a lot of people think that there's a lot of cash on the side, which I also think there is. But however, I think that's more on the institutional side. But it just seems like a lot of people are still able to put something into the market. It's really weird to me.
I think a big part of it as well is hope, and this is me just hoping, I guess, that on the federal level they learned from '08. They put measures in place to prevent something like that happening again. People are smarter, they're acting quicker. They're not, back in '08, people kind of sat on their hands for a bit. They weren't sure what to do, they weren't sure how to act, and it feels like there's been more decisive action over the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, when we've had these issues with the banks than there was back in '08. So that could be part of it, potentially. Maybe. Like, I hope that people learn, but greed is always going to be a really strong emotion for people and could cause them to throw logic out the window. I guess my bull case for the markets would kind of be around inflation, and it could hurt earnings coming up, but I think we'll start to see lower prices. We're seeing demand decrease as consumer spending is decreasing, and I think it may not be the Fed lowering rates getting the rates down that helps inflation. It could be, or getting the rates higher. It could be the fact that like so many companies are going to have to compete on a price level to maintain their margins. They're going to have to lay people off. They're going to have to lower prices. That in turn is going to cause inflation to go down. That's going to allow the Fed to pivot sooner. And I think from a purely, impacting the stock and crypto market standpoint, that could be something that helps expedite things a bit. That's like the only case I got.
See, I'm with you 100% in terms of that bringing down inflation. But as soon as you said pivot, I'm like, nah, the market's going to go to shit right after. Like, again, that's just, we're looking at history. And then same thing with like how Powell was talking about yesterday. Like, we would be going against history if we were able to, bring inflation down with, the rates being this high. However, still having a labor market this strong. It'd be the first time it's ever happened. And, it would be the first time it ever happened. And I don't think it's going to be the first time. Again, things happen until they don't. However, this seems to be one indicator of a market that just overhired for so many years, and they paid people in exorbitant amounts in terms of salary. And with the amount of liquidity that we're going to be seeing crunched here, I don't think the banking crisis is far from over at all. I don't see a world where money is going to be flowing into, some of these businesses to be able to afford some of these employees. And same thing with, investments too. I don't know if I think venture capital is probably going to be a little bit harder, these next 18 months, 20 months. But again, I think I just drifted off from the bull case, but that's what I'm seeing right now. Everything goes right back to the bear case. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And if you add into that on the employment side, we've already seen IBM and other tech companies talk about how AI is going to replace so many jobs. And those are going to be jobs like the people who lose those jobs, they're not really trained for anything else. They're probably not going to want to accept they're not going to go from working at IBM to working at Starbucks or delivering pizzas. Like, it's going to be a real shit show as a lot of people try to adapt to a changing workforce and the demands of that. So, yeah, the bull cases are kind of they're pretty flimsy at the moment. I think
I was going to say, is that a bubble within itself? Looking at people who are going to be absolutely unemployed because of AI, like college degrees and stuff like that, or college is going to start getting hit because people don't want to go to school.
I guess like that could be.
Like, no point.
at this, my kids are like only a little over a year old. I'm going to just have them go be an electrician. Like, we're always going to need until the robots take over those roles too. But, for a while, hopefully that job is still in demand.
That's I wish I went to trade school. And then looking back, and I'm like, man, those guys are doing pretty well for themselves. And guess what? They're also going to be extremely valuable. I don't know how many, unless they start getting those Elon AI robots that Tesla's making, probably going to need human hands for a while.
Was it like the Boston Dynamics or whatever? Like
those guys,
those terrifying robots. Like, once AI and have it the physical forms of those, we are so screwed.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything bad about them because they're probably watching right now.
Oh, I didn't realize that Ace was a master electrician. There you fucking go. Gee, I mean, Ace is going to be.
That's where he gets all the copper from.
Gets that copper. He's got a steady income stream. Like Ace is on top of it. Ace is going to come out of this bear market a fucking king. I love to see that. Is there anything in the charts that you want to look at that you think is worthwhile? You know, we're seeing a pullback in crypto today. We're seeing Bitcoin under 29, ETH under 1900. You know, what catches your eye? BTC dominance is back up. Oh, you know what? The fucking VIX. The goddamn VIX is back up over 20. Back over 20. I call like the other day, I was like, below 16 is ridiculous. It has to go back up. There's too much volatility on the horizon. I was right. And it's going to keep going up. And I want to go to 30 and 40 to melt people's fucking faces and put the fear of God in this market.
Yeah, well, I think on a quieter note, I think that we called it on the last show that this was a bit of a fake out at breaking down under here. Obviously, we wicked up. It's calmed down a bit. It's under 20 right now, 19.87. But you can see we got some rejection off the 200 EMA. But there is volatility in the market. And it's pretty wild how it was at 15 and it shot up to 20.
15.
I know, man.
Jesus.
It was up 10% today at one point. It's at right about 8.29%.
It's up,
but
I'm looking at it as up 11% on the day. But we have a different pairing.
Yeah, no, I got it right here. Market open. It's at 1.55 up, 8.45%. Maybe as you're doing the height, but it definitely got up that high. It was extremely high today, and then it's pulled back a little bit. But I think the S&P obviously seeing a little bit of volatility. S&P is extremely overbought. I don't care what anybody says. Like that's why I'm so bullish on the VIX, because that thing should honestly be, eating gravel at this point. This is the VIX is, like we said, it's a slingshot. This thing is going to just rip one day when we least expect it. Today was a pretty good move. It's not done yet, in my opinion. Maybe on the daily it needs to correct for a few days. But if we look at the VIX in terms of, let's see, the weekly. Yeah, look at that thing. That is extremely, extremely ready to shoot up. And here's the thing, too. We could get a death cross right here. Like, look how close that is to getting the death cross. However, I have balls of steel, and I guarantee you that this thing is still going to shoot up whether it gets a death cross or not. That's just my opinion. Like, I think if anything, the 50 might bounce off the 200 EMA. Is that
Can we long the VIX somewhere? Is that a thing? I'm not sure. I don't think that's a thing, but
I mean, look,
we gamble on the volatility. Like, that's some real degen shit right there.
I mean, the real degen shit back in 2008 was credit default swaps. What the fuck was that? I never heard of that. They made that shit up for Michael Burry. Like, that's the funniest thing in the world.
And then, I mean, you talk about balls of steel, and then he went and just threw millions at it. Like, holy shit.
He put everybody's money into this thing and just said, yeah, fuck it. I'm right. And I know I am. And you guys are going to get rich, but you're going to hate me for the next 2.5 years. Hilarious.
Michael Burry. Gotta love it. Okay. So that's what we're looking at on the VIX. We were right. We're going to continue to be right because that shit's going back to 45.
Fucking, you know what, man? 60. Why not? Maybe 45 in this first dump in May, and then maybe September, October, we get that 60 dump. I'm all for it. I think there's 2 more mega dumps in the market, but I don't know. I could be wrong too. I'm just a kid. But looking at this, the DXY, I want to pull up the DXY too. DXY as well. Broke out of that ascending triangle. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I mean, it's not great in terms of how it looks on the graph, but I think that this could be a fake out as well. I think we need to correct on the daily, and we're probably going to see a pretty good correction today, but I do think that we are going to be making our way up. We found some support on this lower trend line where it bounced off here, bounced off here, bounced off here. We still got this extremely strong support at 100.845. I think that this thing's going to just shoot up like a rocket in one candle above this 102.035. And when it does, obviously watch out because we're going to just continue finding where the next level of extreme resistances, and that's clearly up here. But DXY right now, everyone is just betting against the dollar. It's almost similar to how everyone's just like, yeah, oil, the demand for oil is, not as great. I mean, the supply is greater than the demand for oil right now, so obviously the price is going down. I think there's a lot of fake outs in this market, the VIX being one of them as well. And I think that this is definitely going to catch a lot of people off guard. So dollar, I'm still bullish on. I don't care what China's doing. I think that if we see an inflation spike, this dollar is going to just rocket. Maybe it's next week. I don't know, but
the latest data out of China isn't too great either. So it's not like everything's a utopia over there. Like they're still having their shit. Europe's having their shit. It's a mess globally.
I don't think you can say China's a utopia, but I wouldn't say the United States is one either. So if that means anything, definitely not with 30%.
That's why Elon's trying to go to Mars.
Yeah, they haven't colonized that yet. But 30K or 30,000 or 30% or something like that for Bitcoin mining. They wanted a tax. It was some stupid number like that. So clearly, they pretty much just want 1 Bitcoin for every time you tax, every time you mine. Amazing.
God. All right. But, anywho.
Yeah, I want to go to Bitcoin dominance. I mean, this is one that's really interesting. I was kind of giving up on Bitcoin dominance, I'll be honest with you. Right towards the end there, I thought that if we didn't hold support around here, if we broke below 48%, most likely we were going to drop, to probably this level down here and test the 200 or the 100. No, the 200 to 50, depending on where it was. I think it was a 50 in the daily. Yeah, I was going to test around here, probably get a bounce off that, and maybe push up a little bit and find resistance once again. However, the price of Bitcoin is going down and Bitcoin dominance is going up. Not a great sign. That is absolutely just showing you that people are kind of scared, I think, in the market. And while some people might be moving money over from the banking crisis to go into crypto, into Bitcoin, I think it's also offering a lot of people who are, trying to sell a good amount of Bitcoin the opportunity to get out of the market as well. So I do think that Bitcoin is probably going to take a pretty good dump soon, just based off Bitcoin dominance looking at this. And if I even pull up the Bitcoin chart right now, we're at 28. Oh, there's my crazy lines again. If we're at 28,797 and, we're down $225 right now on the day. So less than a percentage point. However, I'm looking at this and maybe 30K if we're lucky. But I'm honestly, I think that if we make this daily close right here, if we go below 28,658, that's a bearish engulfing candle. And if we close that on the daily today, I think the move is to the downside. I don't think it's to the upside, which would tell me that this was the wave 2 right around here. And we're on our way to the wave 3, which is wave 3 is always the biggest wave if we're looking at an impulsive ABC, a 5-wave move to the downside. And where could that potentially bring us? Well, I'm looking at support. It's probably going to be around this 24 to 25. So between 24,000, 25,000, I think that's where that leg could end up. Again, things could change. I could be wrong. This doesn't close below this and we start to push up to 30,000 once again. And that ends up being our wave here. Then we move to the downside. But Bitcoin dominance is climbing. Alts are compressed right now. They're very limited in how they're pushing up. And this just tells me that whether it's today, tomorrow, very soon, we're going to be entering this wave 3. And when it does, it's going to be pretty gnarly. Again, volumes are extremely low on Bitcoin once again. And we can see that on the daily, we're getting pretty close to overbought. So maybe even by, maybe not today, we get some red, but who knows? The stochastic RSI is a momentum indicator. If we get closer up to here, most likely the next move is to the downside. And if we look on the weekly, we are on the climb down. So I could see a scenario where next 2 weeks, maybe we could get this completely reset to oversold. And then we are somewhere between 25 and 24 where we close. And then we get a little bit of a push up, which is probably our last bounce before we get into this range. Then maybe we'll see a little bit of push to the upside. But right now, I'm just looking for this 24 to 25 range. And then confirmation on the daily of, that move to that second wave to the upside is over. So we can start the wave 3.
All right. Let's talk about something that matters, and that's meme coins. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
So, I mean, everyone and their mother is talking about meme coins at the moment, at least if you're, if you're on Twitter, even some people aren't, are asking about this stuff. I want real quick, while I'm going on my soliloquy, will you get the charts ready for Pepe, Shiba Inu, and Doge, and we can kind of look at like some historical precedent for these, because right now Pepe is on a face melting tear. It's just seeing an absolute run up over the last few days that is otherworldly. And at times like this, I don't want to be the wet blanket. I'm not trying to FUD anything. Do not send the frog people into my DMs. But it's getting to be like peak euphoria out here. And I'm not telling anyone when to buy or sell a goddamn thing. You got to make your decisions based on risk tolerance, your entry point, your time horizon, your perspective of these things, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to have Kev pull up the Pepe chart, and then we're just going to look at comparable meme coins over the years, because as much as people are like, this is the one, Pepe's a better meme, at the end of the day, it's a frog coin versus a dog coin, and I don't know how big of a difference there really is. Now, that being said, the market caps on Shiba Inu and Doge are obscene, and could Pepe get to that point? Yes. Would that mean it has a lot further to go? Absolutely. But I think we just need to keep, the context of the current state of the macroeconomic situation in, we got to keep that in perspective too. So there's a lot of you can poke holes in these. You can make bullish arguments for these as well. But let's go ahead and look at some of the charts here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's pull up Pepe first, because that's the man of the hour. We can see this is on
you also, just to, on the bearish side, you got BitBoy putting out videos about it. That to me.
Oh, he got mad about that. Apparently, he was making fun of people getting into Pepe. However, it's like, dude, the video is so misleading if you just look at the thumbnail and the title. Like, no one's going to read that, watch your video, give you a thumbs up, like and subscribe, like you should with Money Never Sleeps, and then go on and say, I'm going to buy Pepe. No, people are going to see that video you're talking about. They're going straight to buy Pepe. Again, maybe that's on them. That's why I love this being the Wild West. But looking at this right now, this is an absolute insane move to the upside. We see we pulled this little retracement, was short-lived, went straight back up.
Yeah.
It's I could probably chart this as a 5-way move if I really want to. I could say this is wave 1, comes down, wave 2 is this wave back down here, wave 3 up, again wave 3, always big, wave 4, then wave 5. So this move could be over. It really could. I honestly I'm not going to say it is, but I don't think that's, looking at this, that we're gonna but again, it's also under a penny, man. We're talking like how many decimal points? It's insane.
It's dirt. And then so here's the bullish cases for it. It's nowhere near the market cap. What's the market cap right now? About 600. Let me refresh this. I'm looking. It's like $650 million market cap, which sounds like a lot of money. But then if you remember, the market cap of Doge, which would be like the highest upside, is just under 11 billion. The market cap for Shiba Inu is just under 6 billion. So if you want to take a swing at something and just have some fun and not put money in that you can't afford to lose, maybe this is the play. It's also not on centralized exchanges yet. So you have to go to Uniswap or swap via MetaMask or Dex Tools or SushiSwap, or whichever swap you like to do, and go that route. So is this something kind of, I wouldn't be treating this as this is my retirement plan. Okay.
No.
Please, for the love of God, do not throw money into a coin. It legit is like going to the casino. And as someone who's gone to a lot of casinos, play poker for a living, you only take with you what you can afford to lose, and you just hope for the best. And I think that is how you play the meme coins right now. Is if you want to get into Pepe, if you see people having fun with it, if you want to take a swing at a 5 to 10x, because maybe it can do that from here, but also know that in the blink of an eye, now pull up Shiba Inu and let's take a look at the run Shiba Inu went on and the crash it went on after that.
Yeah, Shib. So obviously,
and let's look at let's go long. Yeah, let's go long term here.
Let's go all. Man, this is
go to the 1 year or go to the 6 month even.
6 month. There we go. So yeah, you can see.
Look at that candle on the left there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's absolutely just tank straight down. Look at this. Guys,
keep scrolling.
It doesn't end. It does not end. Yeah, so that's when it came onto the exchanges, and that's when it was already too late. But yeah, this is off Binance US. I think this is a little bit off, but definitely this was a coin that got destroyed. And there was so much hype about this.
But it still has a $6 billion market cap, which is why I think, like, if you want to take the Pepe route, it could still have upside. It could have 10x upside from here, which is just wild to think about.
I mean, again, it's literally like, if you like frogs, buy Pepe. If you like dogs, buy shib or doge. You know what I mean? That's the type of like rationale you have to have when you go into these things. And sure, it might have $6 billion.
If you like bears, you buy Bobo.
Bobo, is that one? I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Bonk? What happened to Bonk?
Oh my god! Remember the people who are pumping Bonk as like the next great thing? Yeah,
I mean,
they should be getting. They'll be getting a letter from the SEC sooner or later.
See Bonk, is it Bonk USDT? I don't know. Let's go 6 months.
Yeah.
Bonk? Yeah, there it is. That makes sense. But it's just like, what are we doing, man? Again, I don't even know. Like the meme coins, I don't even like give them the energy. Like this is probably the most energy I've given any of the meme coins. Like I haven't even checked them on the exchange or anything like that. Pepe is what Pepe is. I'm not gonna worry about it. But it's like I see too many people who are just like going ape shit into these projects, and it's like, what are we doing? We're in a bear market. Like, who the fuck is coming in with all this money that's gonna push this shit to the moon? It's not gonna be me. Maybe them.
People are looking for their home run, man. Like there's no fun in going out and buying a 2-year treasury note that pays 4.5% when you could hit a home run with a meme coin. Like it's the dopamine hit. People want to gamble. People see the screenshots of those who bought Pepe at the very beginning. Like I missed out on so much money with Pepe. I heard about it in chats I was in when the market cap was under $1 million. I mean, I probably would have quit the show if I would have thrown an ETH into Pepe when it was under $1 million market cap. But you know what? I didn't, and I never will. So yeah, I think that's what people want is they see, oh, this person made 900 ETH, so I could do that too. It's like, no, you can't. You're not going to do that. It's too late for that.
I think people get this really confused. Like obviously the price is shooting up too in a bear market, and it's like, oh, this is the only chance that I have because it's the only thing that's going to pump it. People are making tons of money on it, but at the same time, it's like you can make money both ways. Like you looking at this right now. I mean, maybe there's some people who are just like, I'm putting 100K on this at the top. I'm shorting this to 0. You probably could make a lot of money that way too. But again, it's a really weird place right now. I'm looking at this thing and. The euphoria is so fucking high right now. Like the euphoria is so bad, you could probably make a clone out of how bad the atmosphere is on Twitter. But I'm looking at it. I don't know. Just it doesn't tickle my nipples, if that's a saying that we're going to use now.
It doesn't tickle my. I've never heard that one, but that is definitely going to be a phrase that we start using for years and years to come. So I love that. Yeah, I think we can put a bow on the meme coin stuff. Buyer beware. Go in, have some fun with it. Like it's the memes on Twitter have been great. The vibes have been great on social media, thanks to Pepe. So have fun with it, but do not expect this to pay off your mortgage or buy you a Lambo. And God forbid you do make a bunch of money off of it. Take profit and put that money somewhere a little bit more secure, possibly. But hey, I'm an old guy who doesn't play the meme coin game. Just go out and have some fun, I guess.
Good luck to all the kids that made millions of dollars with Pepe and then deposited straight in the bank in a savings account of First Republic or any other bank that's going under. That would be the absolute Jim Cramer luck. That's hopefully you didn't do that. But yeah, definitely buyer beware, man. Be careful out there. It's dangerous.
Yeah, take that profit, go buy Bitcoin, get it onto a ledger, and forget about it for a while. Don't lose the seed phrase, though.
Yeah, take a nap.
Yep, for sure. Okay, that is going to wrap it up for today. We got Apple earnings coming out here in the next half hour. We have unemployment data tomorrow morning, although I don't know if that even matters anymore based off of what Jerome Powell said yesterday, but we'll talk about it either way. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you have not yet, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, drop a comment, share us far and wide. We appreciate all the engagement, all the people who watch. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day, and we will see you later.
Take care, everyone.